Hello, and welcome to Abundantly Purposeful. Today, we're talking about how we use our voices. And really, the way that this topic came up for us is the idea that, especially for women, but this is happening more and more with men as well, we've been taught to not use our voices, to not speak the thing that's really important to us if it kind of goes against the grain, to really sort of stay silent at times when we know better. And I know in my own story, I have had that same experience. And I would be very surprised if there was a woman or even a person in our audience that had not had that experience at some point. But we're really talking about, how do we honor our voice? How do we honor other people with our voice and honor the message of our lives and the purpose that we have? And really using that also to really call out something a little bit greater within ourselves by using our voices and by expressing ourselves. My name is Kristyn Cozad, and I'm a purpose and life coach and the owner of Illuminating Purpose.
Hi, I'm Shelly Schell, and I'm a financial advisor and certified divorce financial analyst, and I'm a co-creator of a firm called Prism Financial Strategies. And I think voice is really key because with investing and money, when we find our voice, right, when we know what that voice is, we can do so many amazing things with our money and the way we choose to spend it or invest it, right? So, when we're using our voice for just anything in life, more specifically, when I talk about things, is with money. And how do we use our voice to create a different and better world for ourselves and the communities in which we live? And using that voice, right, through money, finding that purpose-driven investing is so powerful. It's incredible. It's really fascinating too.
I love that. And I think too, it's, our voice is something, obviously it's in our body, and it's something that we sense. I remember having an experience, this was some time ago, and I had the experience that when I stifled something that I felt was important for me to say, this was sort of the beginning of my journey with my voice, I guess, that I felt it in my body. Something felt off. It was a somatic experience where I could tell that I was doing that to myself. It was because I started paying attention to it. So I think when we start to pay attention with what's going on in our bodies, I think that whatever way we're going to express ourselves, that it sort of shows up somewhere, just by asking yourself, if you're in the middle of a heated conversation or a negotiation or something like that, start noticing in your body what's happening. Because when we hold on to our voice, it sort of piles up energy in our bodies that really could be harnessed if we just learn to cultivate that voice in a way that we're really using our communication in a positive way with people, using our communication to express ourselves in a way that is really kind and also at the same time very direct. I think as women, sometimes we're afraid that if we're direct, it will be received poorly, or that it will reflect on us as being an unkind person. And actually, especially in dealing with men, I think that men really appreciate it when we use our direct voice and we're very clear about the thing that we want or need.
And that's interesting because I'm not a very direct person, just naturally. That's just not who I am. So, but I do, I don't have a problem, speaking up for myself or taking action around my voice. But what I do is I have to really think about sometimes, like, what is important to me and how do I want to, how do I want to use my voice? And it, kind of what you were talking about, like, what's important to me. And there's, it's kind of funny because it's kind of like, pick what's important to you and stand up for that. And that's a great place for somebody like me who isn't specifically direct to say, this is what's important. Like, have you ever heard the term pick your battles kind of thing? And it's like, go for what you really have passion around and what you really believe in and use your voice for those things. And we don't have to be shy or worry about what other people think, right? Because we really believe in them and we believe and we have purpose and we have passion for those things. That comes back to, and how you spend your money as well and invest. Like if you have passion around something and it's really important to you, have you thought about directing the way you spend your money or the way you invest your money into those places? And that's when you have a different type of impact as well. So using our voice for impact, for getting our feelings out there, our emotions, instead of keeping them bottled in, but also to make change in our lives and the lives around us, right? Our voices are so powerful. And, we listen to everybody on the news and the media talk and have their voice. Well, what about our voice and how it manifests itself in the communities around in which we live, and how powerful they are if we just share them in our loving, purpose-driven way, right? Without anger and hatred, but just truly passion.
Right. And learning, it can be a bumpy road when you're learning to use your voice. It might not go, if you are used to playing it very quiet or not speaking up for the things that are important to you or that you desire to have, then take it slowly. Be very patient with yourself in this process, because it can start out as a little awkward. It's like when somebody starts to create boundaries around something and they communicate them, it can cause a little bit of tension. So I just want to encourage you that when you're in the process of learning this or doing this, that make sure it is something, like Shelly says, that is really important to you. And I love the idea of using our voice. Our voice can be expressed through, again, our relationships, our finances, and really the power we have with that when we use our money as our voice as well. And that's something that Shelly has taught me about in our time knowing each other, is how important that is, and the value of that we can either give or invest or purchase in a way that has meaning for us, in a way that, I was just looking at my finances this week, Shelly, and we were talking about this, and I was talking about, sort of where my money goes. And a friend pointed out to me, your money goes into experiences. And I really loved that. And it wasn't something that I had picked out for myself or understood. But as soon as she said it, I said, you're right. It's not really about buying a bunch of clothes or shoes or things for my home, but it really, for me personally, is more, that's the thing that's really important to me, is the experiences that I have. And so, and again, a really big hope for me is growing in generosity. That's another way for me to use my voice. So I really like that you've sort of educated me on that, and how we use our money is really how we use our voice, and to direct that, to have a purpose in that, I think is deeply important.
And so it goes, like you said, giving, sharing, it's not just about making money, right? Having money is about what we can create, which is powerful for other people. And, you may not have enough to give charitable wise that you'd like to now, but just giving of your time and using your voice and your person to direct yourself into a passion is, it equates to money, right? In some ways, because you have to take time off from work to volunteer and take time to do things. So our voices are powerful, and they go hand in hand with who we are, but money and voice are so imperative when you think about them together and utilizing them in a connected way. I just have to say something kind of funny. I'm on holiday and I am remote, and I might be having some technical issues. So I hope you can hear me okay, Kristyn, but I finally realized that my headphones were not even turned on for the last, for the beginning of this segment. So I'm laughing because I just have to laugh at myself.
Okay. Neither one of us is a technology giant, Shelly. So I'm not here to.
Well, I know our editor's going to be like, "Gosh, your sound is horrible," and I'm going to say, "Yeah, it's because I forgot. I just thought my
headphones okay. He's not listening to this, Shelly."
Anyway, sorry, I digress. But using your voice, like, this is not something I'm going to hide. I have to be honest. I'm not technology, and I just could not even turn them on. So
funny.
Anyway,
that's so funny. I don't think people are watching for our technology tips.
Apparently not. They're not gonna want those.
Maybe my mother. My mother might be. I love you, Mama.
Yeah. We're learning. We're learning, and we're growing in many ways. Like I
For
always learn from
sure.
Kristyn and her teachings. I think it's so awesome. So
Well, and Shelly, I appreciate you so much. You really helped me to be much more mindful about my money. And so, my tip going forward this week in using your voice is really pick one area of life. How do you want to use your voice to express yourself? Is it the
mm,
encouraging of other people? Is it sharing your purpose with the world or sharing your desires or your needs with the world? Is it, voting with your dollars sort of thing? However it is, determine where you want to start with this. If this is something that you haven't really explored before and you're sort of afraid to use your voice, find someone safe for you. Find someone who wants to hear your voice and wants to hear what's inside. And just start
mm,
slowly, one step at a time, sharing more and more and more. And I can say that in this path of sharing, my business 5 years ago, I I didn't know really necessarily how to share about what I did. And just the action of doing it makes things very, very clear because we know what's in here. It's just a
mm.
matter of putting it out with the world. So I want to encourage you to determine what ways you want to share your voice and to go out and make it actionable this week.
As far as money tips with your voice, I think I would encourage you to think about, um, what really matters to you. Something that's really personally important to you, right? So if it's a social issue or if it's a cause like being organic or something, who knows, many different things. If it's something for within your community that you want to support, and think about how you can contribute or how you can participate financially in that endeavor. And that might mean, the kind of products that you're buying on a regular basis. I've talked about that before. What's in your cabinet? Like, what do you buy? Does it align with what's important to you and what your voice is really wanting to talk about? I think that's just something, again, just connecting your voice with your purchasing power and your ability to make changes in just what you buy and how you spend your money on the smallest things can make a big difference and really help you think about what that voice means to you and
Yes.
purpose driven, purposely abundant full, really. Purposely abundant,
We're abundantly
purposely
purposeful.
abundant
For
full.
sure.
It's just whatever you want it to be. It's
It
it's
is
full of
whatever you
everything.
want it to be.
Great. Yeah, it is. It's absolutely
Well,
what you want
thank
it to
you
be.
folks so much. We've enjoyed sharing our thoughts on using your voice and our time with you. We hope that you leave a comment if you have any thoughts on this or any way that, using your voice has affected your life or where you want to step out in this. We would really love to hear what you have to share. Also, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. We put out a weekly message and we would love for you to be on board with us with that every week. So thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day.
Thank you.